I think one of the most frustrating parts about sitting back and watching this gender war take place is that so many of their thoughts are not their thoughts. They are thoughts that have been given to them. And something I found interesting in the hundreds and hundreds of comments that I had on that video is how many people were saying that it's all they seem to see on their FYP, even if that's not what they look for, even if that's not what they're trying to pay attention to, even if that's not what they enjoy watching. They see a lot of this gender war content, which makes me believe that it's being pushed to us on purpose. And I think about a lot of the talking points that I hear, those are not original talking points. A lot of that has been slow drip to us through our media, through what we watch, through our movies, different methods of programming to further cause that divide, that divide and conquer mentality. Because if you think about it, especially within my community, well, if I can keep them not liking each other, I can keep them from forming strong marriages, which means I can keep them from forming a strong foundation. I can keep them from raising strong masculine leaders in their sons, and I can keep them from raising strong, nurturing, loving women. I can keep them divided. I can keep them from forming strong citizens, essentially, to where now everyone is so much easier controlled. We throw this at them, they go to war at themselves, they're not actually paying attention to anything that's happening outside of them. And it's so frustrating at how well they've done it. So many of us do not realize that we are puppets and pawns in this thing. And it's even more frustrating for me as somebody who had to learn it all the hard way, because I never come from a place of like superiority, because a lot of the mistakes that I speak about, I had to make them myself. And now I try specifically to help other women from making the same mistakes, because I realized that essentially I got played. Mentally, I was manipulated into believing a lie, and then I had to go make a mess, and then now I have to clean it up, take that L to the chin, and I'm like, oh wow, okay, so they have been using us against each other for quite some time now. And I think that's what's most frustrating, is that if we actually start to think for ourselves again and pay attention to what's actually happening and have real conversations out in the real world, we will realize that a lot of men and women really just want the same things. We are just battling our own issues. And I know trauma gets thrown around so much, but it is valid. So many of us are battling our own traumas, that we are fighting each other when we should be turning to each other, because we need each other. And I think a lot of us have what the other person needs. It's just we can't get out of the aggression fighting mode and seeing each other as an enemy, when we absolutely have a greater enemy. Because we didn't do this to ourselves. This is something that has been happening throughout the generations, to where now this is where we are. And it's so frustrating to see. That's why I'm always going to use every platform I have, if not this one, YouTube, my blog, the products I create, anything that I put out, to try and help women to get their minds back, to start thinking for themselves again. Because we have been programmed now to believe that how we feel about men is how we actually feel, when it's not. When it's not. You start peeling them layers back, you realize the men aren't the problem at all. Am I saying that they're perfect? No. But we have to start thinking for ourselves again, because we are being controlled in ways many of us don't even realize. But I'm trying to get in the habit of not making my videos as long, so I'm going to leave that here.